morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Rusty Shackelford Show. We're going to build a 4-foot by 4-foot, 2-story, 2 levels workbench. So as you guys can see here, I've already got my first cut set up where I'm just taking a 4-foot by 8-foot piece of 3/4 inch plywood, and I'm just going to cross cut it right down the middle and make 2 roughly 4-foot sections out of it. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. I figured while I'm here I would discuss something. I know you guys saw when I made this cut, I made it with a cordless saw. Hey, I can't sing the praises of going cordless enough. I would like to say, number one, how many times have you been using a corded saw and get halfway through the cut and your cord get hung on something? You had to take your eyes off of the piece that you're cutting in order to reshift the cord, reshift the saw, or pulling on the cord, did it shift the saw and cause it to bind? I'm telling you, if there's any way possible that you guys can cut the cord for making cuts like this, and I get it if you're on a job site and you're making hundreds of cuts a day, that maybe a battery saw might not be practical. But I've made quite a few rip cuts and cross cuts on 4x8 sheets of plywood with that cordless saw within the last 48 hours, and I still have yet to charge the battery. So I am very impressed. But yet again, something else that I like to point out is you guys see that I'm using 2 36-inch sawhorses, and they are holding up a 4x8 piece of plywood that I've cut in half. But what you can't see is the pre-planing that I did before I made the cut to support this piece of wood. So basically what this is, these are the cheap, I don't know, 2x3s or something like that that you get at Lowe's. I'm using them as supports, so when I slice through here, my piece of wood doesn't go. Always plan your cut, not only for the, I don't want to say perfection, but the good luck of the cut, but also for your safety. So the saw doesn't bind and you're not making any last ditch efforts to save it, reaching for something, reaching past the blade or anything like that. You don't want that stuff to happen. All right, now we're going to cut our rim boards, if you will, to support our top. All right, I'm going to show you all how to assemble one of the legs. Like I said, these are 1x3s, I think. Yeah, 1x3s, and they're just cut. I've got them cut a little bit long. I'm going to cut them down to 34 1/4. Right now they're cut at 35. So when I get them together, I'll take them over here to my miter saw, and I'll lop a blade length off the other one side, and then I'll cut them down to length on the other side. So first thing we're going to do, I'll take this guy right here. I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to get my mark so I know roughly what half the width is. Did that work? Did that take? No. Pencil's wearing down. I'm going to line them up, both faces. This poor pencil just about had it. Using scraps. All right, so now we have the length right here. We have the the width of the board. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do three holes, one about 3 or 4 inches back, about the middle of your mark, about midways, and then 3 or 4 inches back. And the next thing we're going to do, we're going to pull our countersink up. We're going to put a little countersink in there to hide the head of the screw and give it something good to bite into. Take this, sawdust. All right, so now I'm going to take and go like this, put it up on the edge. I'm going to line up my ends and I'm going to line up my faces. I'm going to take my drill, I'm going to drill a pilot hole, get rid of some shavings. And that's the purpose of a countersink. I'll show you guys here real quick, see if it will focus. If you guys can see there, so it hides the head of the screw and gives it a good angle to bite into. All right, continuing on, we'll repeat that step 2 more times. Pilot hole, screw, let it eat. So here it looks pretty good. Like so. All right, now I'll see you all over at the saw and we'll trim up our edges and cut them to length. All right, I've already done one and I've got my saw stop set up to cut them all to the same length, and they're coming out at 34 1/4. So as I said earlier, I'm feeling my end grains. Like this one here's got a little bit of a lip on it. So I'm gonna turn this like this. I'm gonna line it up and I'm gonna lop off roughly. I'm not even really gonna lop anything. I'm just gonna shave. You didn't really see any kind of a block come off. I just shaved the end, so I know this end is good. So I'm gonna run it down here to my stop. Hold it tight to the fence. You guys remember earlier when I had set the screw in here, I was sure to set it back, and that's the reason for that. So we'll pull our tape out here. 34 1/4, right on the money. And it really doesn't matter, as long they'll all come out the same length, especially if you use a saw stop. All right, now I'm going to focus on doing the top attachment. So, whoop, grabbed the wrong one. I've already done one set, but I wanted you guys to see this because it's the same thing, same procedure, just done 4 times, just like doing the legs. Some may say this is a little overkill, but I do it for my benefit. This is how I do it. So I'm doing this strictly to measure what my 1.5 inch is, where my stud is underneath. So I'm also going to do this. Take my tape measure, set it up here on the edge, like so. Make a mark at 3, 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, and at 3'9". Now I'm going to take my drill, right here at the end of the mark, drill a hole. Another one. Oh, missed one. Countersink. Hit that one more. And also, keep in mind that this top is meant to be replaceable. So, and you just do that 4 times, and then we'll fix the studs on the bottom of it. So basically, what I'm doing, taking my quick grips, I'm putting my 2x4s up under here, and I'm clamping them underneath so they fit, and everything looks flush, looks good. Then I take my drill, and I drill all 5 of these holes into my pieces of wood here because they've already been countersunk. Put your 5 screws in here. Take your impact driver, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then when you're done, do that times 4 all the way around, making sure everything's flush, everything looks good, and then you're good to go. All right, so I'm gonna show y'all how I'm attaching the feet here. Let's see. Start off about here. Move your hand before you drill a hole through it. Yep, that's exactly what I'm hitting. Hit the screw. Ought to buy a lotto ticket. So, countersunk. Alright, got that one in there tight. Tight like a tire, as they say these days. Yeah, we're gonna switch gears and come over here. Pull it in. Screws in here, pull it tight. Pull it in that way. That way. That way. Making sure you're putting screws in that one and this one as well. I think we've got one more. What's wrong with that one? Not a thing. Alright, just repeat that 4 times and that'll get your feet. Now we're going to work on the second level. Alright, for reasons that will soon become apparent, I've taken a square and I've lopped a 45-degree angle off here. Like I said, you'll see why here momentarily. I hope that's enough. Alright, as you guys can see, we're putting the band around the second level, the lower level, excuse me. And it may require just a little bit of persuasion and manipulation. So what I'm going to do is I'm out of the quick clamps. guys here, which is not very fun at all. Looks like we're good that way. Just need to come that way a little bit of persuasion. Really doesn't matter too much, but come this far, trying to do the right thing, you may as well continue on to the end. Good. Pretty good. All right, now, let's see here. Let's just put the screws to it, be done with it. And now we're going to take the router and we're going to bevel the edge just a little bit, just a slight bevel. Plywood, when it's cut, can be very sharp. So, I mean, it can kind of give someone like a light paper cut. So especially if you've got kids around, it's a good idea to route your edges. It also helps to take up the splinters. So just take a router and run it around the edge real quick and give it a nice beveled edge. All right, so we finished up another project. Got us a nice little workbench / play bench. And also, as you can see, I've got a little B-roll shot here of a step stool. This project here runs about 35 inches in height, maybe a little tall for young children. You can build a step stool that the kids can step on, and then as they grow to the bench, they can use it without it. But it's also a workbench as well. And also, as you can see, the problem with flat surfaces, they generally tend to accumulate stuff. But that's, you know, we can all do with probably a little bit less of stuff. So, hey, I would appreciate a like and subscribe and a comment. If you have any questions, any content ideas, please let me know. I'll be glad to explore them with you. And as always, I wish you the best of days, the best of luck, health, prosperity, and also, as I say from time to time, find something to do. Build something, fix something, modify something, explore something. I know, you know, in today's society, it can be hard to stay positive, but I promise you, if you keep your hands moving, if you keep your mind thinking, it will pull you from out of those negative thinking traps and keep positivity in your life. Help you live a longer, better, and healthier life as well. So, till the next time, stay dry.